Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 51, Master Kensei. After school ended, Siko went to meet her sister while Kenichi and Mo went towards Ryo's Zanpaku. Though Myo didn't show it much, but Kenichi could easily see her face glowing after she decided to take part in the theater as Juliet. After reaching the dojo, Kenichi directly changed into his karate dress while Myo went to make lunch, followed by Shigeru, whom she told about her role in theater. So, what role do you have in the play, donkey? Asked Shigeru. No, it's the main character, can you believe that? Since it seems like they are really short on people, I thought this would be easy of helping them out. Myo explained. Sounds fun, said Shigeru. There's only 5 days left, I don't know if I will be able to learn all the lines though, said Myo. You will be okay since you are smart, said Shigeru. It's good that she is happy, isn't it, sensei? Otherwise she is always stressful cause of you all, Kenichi said while standing in front of Kensei-ma. Hey, don't get distracted. The hour before dinner is precious time allocated to me. Recently the ration of training for bare-fisted fighting has decreased, so you should concentrate on it more, Kensei-ma said while showing him a pie chart which is time allocated to ask 4 men for teaching Kenichi. Then we will start with at the pointed spear hand position of Hakuju. Kensei-ma said as he went into the surest hand position and said, try punching me. Okay, Kenichi said and punched towards Kensei-ma, who turned around, then pushed the punch to the left and used the right hand to attack his neck. From this position you can reverse to a completely different position so you can simultaneously perform defense and offense, you see. Kensei-ma said. Ha! Yeah, you are right, Kenichi said. And from this position you can easily twist the arm, said Kensei-ma while doing the exact thing to Kenichi. Shit! Kenichi said as he tried to free his arm from Ma, but he found out that it wasn't possible even after using so much of his strength. The strength of Hakuju is the flowing series of techniques. So should we try out a light combo now, said Kensei-ma, ready to teach Kenichi while beating him a little. Neck strike. Crotch. Turn around to the back and edge of the hand to the back of the neck. Elbow to the side. And finish it off by kicking the back of the knee to topple your opponent. Explained Kensei-ma while performing these actions on Kenichi, who was lying on the ground in a dazed state. What happened, Kenichi? Asked Kensei-ma. I wasn't able to move while you were using Hakuju on me. Why? Kenichi said. You are fast and strong, Kenichi, and have bestial instincts, but that doesn't mean you will be able to dodge or defend every attack that comes your way. Isn't that why you came here to learn from us? Kensei-ma said. Yes, you are right, Master Kensei, Kenichi said as he stood up. Now since Hakuju is a flowing set of attacks, it has a low amount of power. So that's why you attack the vital spots, but you can't kill your opponent with this move. So I will teach you my secret technique of counter-attacking when you're being held by your opponent, said Kensei-ma as he made Kenichi hold him by the back of his neck with both hands. As Kenichi did so, Kensei attacked his chin with the palm of his right hands. Through this attack Kenichi didn't felt anything. If your opponent has strong neck muscles, then he would be able to handle things much. Since your distance is close, you can't put enough of your strength behind it. And your opponent will know if this too, but herein lies the trap, said Kensei as he used his left hand to hit elbow that was in contain with Kenichi's chin, making him fly back 3 to 4 meters. Ah! Shit! That had a tremendous impact, Kenichi said while sitting up. Hitting the elbow that's in contact with your opponent's chin with your other arm. You're concentrating the power of 2 arms on just one hand, so the power is increased. Further, since your hand is in contact with the chin, your opponent can't dodge, and unlike you who jumped to lessen the force behind the attack, no one would be able to replicate that until he has the same amount of agility and instinct you, Kensei-ma said. Ha! You knew that I jumped up to lessen the impact of the force behind the attack? Asked Kenichi in shock. Of course, who do you think I am that I won't be able to find this pretty truck of yours? But I have to say, Kenichi, that was pretty good, as that's the only way to save yourself from this technique, Kensei-ma said. But I still got hot pretty badly, and I am sure someone who doesn't have a strong neck won't be able to take the full force of it, Kenichi said while rubbing his jaw. This a dangerous technique, you should never teach it to anyone else, not should you use it against a weak opponent. There, that's all for today, said Kensei-ma as he left Kenichi alone after that. After lunch, Kenichi saw Myo practicing her dialogues with Akasame. "Oh Romeo, Romeo, where? For art thou Romeo," said Myo in broken English. "Alas, there lies mote peril in thine eye than twenry if their swords." Akasame followed with a perfect pronunciation and without looking at the dialogues. "Man, she really sucks and will need a lot of practice, whereas Master Akasame has already remembered all the dialogues," thought Kenichi. "Romeo, wherefore thou Romeo?" continued Myo. Looking at her practicing diligently, Kenichi smiled and said to himself, "I am really looking forward to this play now." Chapter 52, Kid Tanimoto. The next few days were uneventful except for the fact that some delinquents came to destroy the theater club but were dealt by Kenichi, making them run away, after which Nina pestering Kenichi to officially join the alliance, as well as him suspecting Tanimoto for being not a genuine person. Kenichi knew everything about him that there is to know, and he didn't want to get harassed by Naijima all day long, so whenever he came to him, Kenichi will go to Siko, making him run away in fear. Saturday. Myo's play was on Sunday, so she was practicing really hard today and wasn't able to accompany Kenichi to the hospital to meet the person he has been seeing for such a long time, but Kenichi had Siko, who was still accompanying him. On the way, Kenichi and Siko kept talking to each other about what they did for the year that they didn't meet, making the conversation interesting for each other. After reaching the hospital, Kenichi took Siko towards a patient room where a blonde girl around the same age of Anoka was lying on the bed. "How are you, Kid? Look, I have brought someone to meet you," Kenichi said while entering the room. Kid turned her head while smiling when she heard Kenichi's voice and said, "You came, big brother Kenichi. I thought you have forgotten about me." "How could I? It's just that school has started this month only, so I came a little late, that's all. It won't happen again, I promise," Kenichi said. "HMNP, okay, I will let it go since it's your first time, but you won't be forgiven so easily next time. Now introduce me to this beautiful big sis," Kid said while trying to make an angry face. Okay, this girl here is Siko Busujima, my girlfriend, and Siko, this is Kid Tanimoto, whom I met 6 years ago and have been meeting her since then." Kenichi introduced the two to each other and let them talk by themselves, which was really easy since Kid is cheerful girl who likes to meet new people and Siko's personality is likable to everyone. Looking at Kid, Kenichi remembered how he met her 6 years ago, all because his father, who was the only person not nourished by Kenichi's internal energy, got ill and they came to hospital where he saw the small Natsu Tanimoto, and after following him he saw his little sister Kid as well. At that time when Kenichi got to know she was very ill, he used his internal energy to nourish and heal her body. Though he still hasn't completely healed her, it was because the strength needed to heal a terminal illness isn't small, which he only came to poses now. Only after seeing her did Kenichi remembered all the information there was on the two of them. Kid and Natsu were orphans until they were adopted by a wealthy businessman. Natsu worked hard to be the best heir his stepfather could be for his sister, who was born with a deadly illness. When the stepfather finally took Kid to one of his medical facilities, he fell in love with the female doctor working there and married her. For a brief period, the family of four were happy, with even the stepfather sincerely smiling. However, the peace was short-lived, as the stepfather was found dead one morning, though the police were unable to confirm the cause. The police immediately suspected the stepmother as the culprit and took her away, leaving Natsu to run the company by himself. Sometime later, Natsu discovered that the stepmother never really treated Kid's sickness and that her condition had worsened. While on her deathbed, Kid's final words were for her brother to never give in. These words made Tanimoto more cold and unapproachable towards others, and the only one he ever cared about was Kenichi's sister, as he always saw his sister in her. Now that she is alive, how much change will occur in him, thought Kenichi. "Any big brother Kenichi," Kid said. "Yes, what is it, Kid?" asked Kenichi. "The doctor said that with the speed I was healing I will be completely healthy at that time. You will have meet my brother, okay?" Kid said. "Yes, as I promised I will meet him after you are completely healthy," Kenichi said while sitting on the stool beside her, holding her hand and using his internal energy to start healing her. Okay then, but tell me, how much time will it really take me to be completely healthy, brother Kenichi? Kid asked as she felt a pure energy coursing through her body, making her feel good. Don't worry Kid, you will be fine in a month at most, Kenichi said smilingly. Thank you brother Kenichi, Kid said. You're welcome Kid, Kenichi said as he let go her hand and brushed her hairs with his hands like kid. Moo, don't mess up my hair, Kid said as she tried to smooth down her hair. Ha, now that's one of my enjoyments, how can let it go so easily, Kenichi said. Looking at the two of them playing and bantering with each other, Siko smiled and said, you shouldn't tease a girl like that, Kenichi. Girls really like to take care of their hairstyles. Okay, I won't, Kenichi said and stopped teasing Kid. After talking with her some time, Kenichi said, now we should get going. Your brother must be coming right now, said Kenichi as he stood up. Okay, but please come and meet me some more times, Kid said. Okay, I will, bye Kid, Kenichi said. Bye brother Kenichi, sister Siko, Kid replied while waving his hand. Bye, Siko said with a smile on her face as she waved her hand as well. As they came out of the room, Kenichi saw from the window that Tanimoto was entering the hospital. Let's go around from there, Siko, Kenichi said. Why, Kenichi? Asked Siko. Well, there is a snack shop there and I was thinking of buying some chocolates for your sister as she likes them a lot, Kenichi said. Oh. Okay then let's go, Siko said as they started walking in that direction. After buying the chocolates, Kenichi and Siko exited from the hospital safely without Tanimoto seeing them. Okay, now let's go meet your sister, Kenichi said after they got out of the hospital. And Siko noised her voice while nodding her head. Chapter 53, Antics of Busujima Girl. After meeting Kid, Kenichi and Siko went towards her house to meet her sister, who according to her was lazing around on the weekend. She and Rukia were living in the same house they used to live 2 years earlier. When Kenichi reached her house, he remembered the number of fights he had with Rukia weren't small, but one thing he knew, that she was the girl who would always make him cheer up with her antics. As they entered the house, both of them heard some noise coming from the living room, and as they followed the noise entering the living room, they saw that the TV was on in full volume while Rukia Busujima was lying on the sofa in her mini shorts and black tank top, which was unable to hide her bountiful breasts, allowing Kenichi to have a full view of it once again. Rukia! Siko shouted, seeing her sister dressed like that. What? Rukia said and turned her head to look at them. Oh. So Kenichi has come, but so what? I won't be dressing up cause of him, she continued, then turned her head back to look at the television. You. Ignore her, Kenichi. Even though you came to meet her and brought her favorite chocolates for her, she doesn't want to meet you, Siko said as she started pulling him out of the living room, but Rukia grabbed his other hand, stopping them on their tracks. Who says I didn't wanted to meet him? Come Kenichi, sit. It has been a long time since we last met, Rukia said as she patted on the beside her. Okay then, you two talk, I will bring tea for everyone, Siko said as she went towards the kitchen. Get me my chocolates first, Rukia said as she snatched the packet from Kenichi's hand, carrying a whole lot of chocolates in it. So how is it being teacher of high school students? Asked Siko. It's good actually, there are some girls other than Siko who are good with kendo, but not much, while the boys just kept drooling after looking at me not practicing at all, cause of which I had thrown them out and talked to the management to make a boys kendo club separately if they really want to do kendo, Rukia said while eating her chocolates. It was your fault, you know. Those guys are still in high school, how do you expect them to not get a hard-on after seeing you, Kenichi said. Ha. Then aren't you a high school boy as well? Why is that you don't have any reaction? Are you even a man? Rukia said, teasing Kenichi. Kenichi was stumped, unable to react at all, as he hadn't thought that she would ask such a question. Ha. Don't feel bad, I was just teasing you. Here, I haven't eaten the last piece of my chocolate, Rukia said as she tried to feed the last piece of chocolate to him, but just as he opened his mouth to eat the chocolate, Rukia took it away from his mouth and put it in her mouth. Ah, didn't you really think I would give you my chocolate? Forget it, Rukia, while enjoying the last piece of chocolate in her mouth. Seeing this, Kenichi was really pissed. He grabbed her hand, pulled her towards him, plucked her lips with his and forcefully entered her mouth, tasting the chocolate mixed with it. MMMNPPP came a noise from a shocked Rukia who wanted to shout but couldn't as it was stuck with Kenichi's, and she didn't even push him away as she was still in shock. After thoroughly enjoying the taste of the kiss, he parted away from Rukia, whose eyes were wide open, unable to utter a single word. You really think that I don't have any reaction against you? You are wrong. I already had the thought of pursuing you since the day I met you, but that was not the right time, and now since you have pushed my buttons, then you can forget about finding any other boyfriend than me, said Kenichi with an arrogant and cocky smile. Rukia, after hearing his words, finally came out of her stupor, and when she understood his meaning she became beet red with shame and embarrassment. Bastard! Shouted Rukia as she punched towards his face. The punch was with Rukia's full force, which was half-step grandmaster, and seeing it coming for him, Kenichi didn't have enough time to block it, so he dodged the punch just before it reached him, but it still scratched his cheek and blood started leaking from the cut that appeared there. Kenichi hurriedly stood from the sofa and hurriedly took few steps back so as to get ready for the next attack, but it didn't came. Kenichi looked at Rukia in confusion as he thought, since I did kissed her forcefully, I am fine with her attacking me few more times, but why did she stop after a single punch? Get out, I don't want to look at you right now, said Rukia with her voice carrying anger in it. Okay, I will go for now, but I was not joking about pursuing you, said Kenichi. What do you think Siko will say? Rukia was interrupted when she was saying something. You can tell Siko about it if you want, I really don't care, Kenichi said as he started walking towards the door, then turned his head and shouted, Sorry Siko, I will be going for now as I have some important work to do and help Mio for her play as well, so I will meet you tomorrow at the school, after which he went out from their house. What? What happened, Kenichi? Came a voice of Siko, who just entered the living room. Didn't he said he has some important work to do? Rukia said in frustration and embarrassment. But he didn't said anything about that earlier. Oh well, I will just ask him tomorrow, Siko said as she entered the kitchen once again, leaving a red-faced Rukia behind. Chapter 54, Play starts. What? What happened, Kenichi? Came a voice of Siko, who just entered the living room. Didn't he said he has some important work to do? Rukia said in frustration and embarrassment. But he didn't said anything about that earlier. Oh well, I will just ask him tomorrow, Siko said as she entered the kitchen once again, leaving a red-faced Rukia behind. After coming back to Ryo Zanpaku from his meeting with Keed and Rukia, Kenichi trained with Sakaki then Akasame. Kenichi, it looks like that you have already gotten accustomed to the restraints, so I am going to add weights on them, said Akasame. I am sorry, master. It looks like my ears are playing game with me. What did you said? Kenichi asked. I said that I will be adding weights in your restraints, not much, just 10 kg in total, Akasame said, and just as he finished, Kenichi booked from there. You should not run away from this, Kenichi. Apachai shouted Akasame. Whoosh! Came a noise from the wind, and Kenichi could be seen on Apachai's right shoulder with his right hand supporting him. Apachai, have you forgotten the cell phone that I gave you? Kenichi said. Apachai. Didn't, that's why Apachai helped Kenichi train, said Apachai. Kenichi sighed and shook his head after hearing Apachai's logic. After Akasame came to them, Apachai dropped Kenichi on the ground. Master Akasame, let's do it tomorrow after Mio's play. I have a feeling that I will have to fight tomorrow and I won't be able to adjust my strength with the new weights on, Kenichi said. You don't have to make excuses like this, Kenichi, this will only benefit you in the long run, Akasame said as he started adding weights to Kenichi's restraints, 5 kilograms on both sides. With the previous 40 kilograms, now his restraints weight was 50 kilograms, and along with the 35 kilograms weight anklets on each of his leg, Kenichi was carrying 120 kgs of dead weight on him. F***ck cursed Kenichi as he went out of the practice room and went to meet Mio, who was doing last-minute practice. Oh. Kenichi, what happened? Mio asked when she saw Kenichi walking weirdly. Nothing much, Mio, it's just Master Akasame has increased the weights of my restraints, that's all, Kenichi replied. Oh, so that's why you are walking like that? Mio said. Yeah, but let's forget about me for a minute. How is your practice going on? Are you nervous about going up on stage tomorrow? Kenichi asked. There's that, but, to tell you the truth, all the members of the drama club said that their families would come and watch the play. But me, grandfather left for the south again 3 days ago. I was worried that it might be like the parent visitations day in elementary school when I was the only kid alone. Mio said. You have me, Kenichi said. Ha! Mio exclaimed. And Siko, we will be there cheering for you tomorrow, more than a dozen of family members, Kenichi said. Oh dear. Thank you so much. But you can't cheer in the middle of the play, Mio said. Yeah, don't worry about that. I almost forgot to tell you that my parents will also come along with Anoka to watch your play and cheer for you, Kenichi said. What? Why didn't you told me this before, asked Mio. Because I didn't want it to make you feel much pressured, as they will be coming there to cheer you as a family, so don't feel pressure, okay, said Kenichi. No, I was just shocked, that's all, but I am really happy that they will be coming for the play tomorrow, Mio replied with a smile. Good, Kenichi said and smiled as well. On the rooftop, Sakaki was lying as he heard the conversation between Mio and Kenichi and told all of it to the rest of the members of Ryo Zanpaku. That's it. Personally, I don't give a damn, but I thought you all should know, Sakaki said. So that's what Mio was thinking, Akasame said. That old man always has rotten timing, said Apachai. Shigure also nodded her head while her mouse Takamara was also doing the same. Full of high school girls. Wait, no, I felt sorry for Mio, Kensei-ma said. Can't help it then, we would have to jump in. Akasame said as he closed the book he was reading. After talking with Mio, Kenichi went towards his room. For the second time after coming to the dojo, Kenichi used the ropes to climb up the second floor and entering his room. The first was the day he wore the restraints for the first time. F***ck, how am I going to fight Tanimoto tomorrow? Kenichi cursed as he lied on his bed. Next day. All the members of Ryo Zanpaku came to watch the play. Akasame and Sakaki were wearing suites. Shigure was wearing a formal dress as well, along with her katana wrapped in a cloth. Kensei-ma was wearing his regular Chinese clothes and Apachai was wearing t-shirt and shorts. It's good that we came early and got the best seats, said Kensei-ma. Hello, we are Mio's family, Akasame said to the family sitting beside them. Oh hello, we are the Shirahamas, Kenichi's parents, and we know about you all. Our daughter has told us about you, said Saori. Oh, Kenichi's parents? Sakaki asked. Yes, this is my husband Mototsuga Shirahama, said Saori, introducing her husband. Hello, I am Akasame Koetsuji, Kenichi's master in Jujutsu, said Akasame. I am Shio Sakaki, Kenichi's karate master, Sakaki said. This is Kensei-ma, Kenichi's master in Chinese Kenpo, Akasame said, introducing Kensei, who was busy in clicking pictures of high school girls. I am Apachai said. I am Shigure was going to introduce herself but got interrupted by Saori. I know about you, my daughter told me about the second big sister she got. You are Shigure Kosaka, right? We will be happy to have you in the family, said Saori. Kenichi really has a good eye for girls, Mototsuga commented from behind. Hearing those words, even the cold Shigure blushed, making her face look cute. From the stage, Mio was seeing all of them, smiled and said, Great, all of them are here. See, I am also here, so do your best, Mio big sis, said Anoka standing beside her. Yes, thank you, Anoka, now you should go and sit with them, my play is going to start any time now, Mio said. Okay, once again all the best, Mio big sis, said Anoka as she ran towards her parents to sit with them. Mio, let's come on, we are going to start now, came the voice of Natsu Tanimoto. Yes, I am coming, Mio said and looked at the audience one last time, and we Kenichi entering the auditorium along with Siko and waved his hands towards her to show that he has come. Mio smiled after seeing him and entered the backstage with full vigor. Kenichi and Siko were going to the front to meet with the others but were stopped by Naijima, who came running towards them. Kenichi! Shouted Naijima after entering the auditorium. Seeing him, Kenichi remembered something that he had forgotten and cursed OF***CK. Chapter 55, Kazara vs. Siko. Kenichi, shouted Naijima after entering the auditorium. Seeing him, Kenichi remembered something that he had forgotten and cursed OF***CK. Kenichi, I know you want to watch the show, but this is important, Naijima said, but stopped in between when he saw Siko being present there as well. What is it? Kenichi asked, even though he knew the answer. It's Kazara and her gang, they are coming here to deal with Mio. Kazara said that she wants to fight against her once again, said Naijima. She wants to destroy her play as well, asked Kenichi. No, I don't think so, but there is no guarantee that she will wait until the play is over and may challenge Mio during the play, replied Naijima. You wait here, Kenichi, I will go out and deal with her, Siko said as she took out his wooden kendo swords from its cover. Okay, but if you can then don't engage with her, as I don't want any of you to get hurt, Kenichi said. Oh. So is she your girlfriend as well? Asked Siko as a matter of fact. No, not right now, but she will be one in the future, replied Kenichi. Okay, then I will try it, but there is no guarantee about it won't happen, Siko said. I know, just don't get hurt yourself, that's all, Kenichi said. Okay, Siko replied, then looked at Najima and said, let's go. Najima didn't said anything but looked at Kenichi with pleading eyes, but Kenichi ignored them and continued to walk in the front to meet his parents and the Ryozanpaku members. Hi Mom, Dad, you are here with Anoka, Kenichi said as he sat beside them. Yeah, we came early to get the best seats and also met your masters and other Ryozanpaku members as well, Moritsugu said. Kenichi, where is Siko? Didn't you said that she will come as well? Saori asked. Yes Mom, but she has some voluntary work to do, Kenichi replied. Oh okay, Saori said and didn't ask the question as the play had already started. On the other side, Najima has brought the members of Nishira group along with Takeda and Yukita, whom he picked on the way, telling them that it is a way to pay back their debt to Kenichi and Mio for saving them on that day. Siko didn't stop him as she knew that he won't go where Kazara and her goons were alone with her. Najima, although we want to help Kenichi and Mio, but still none of us are able to deal with Kazara, Takeda said. Don't worry about Kazara, leave her to me, Siko said while walking in the front of the group. You are Siko, right? Kenichi's girlfriend. Are you sure that you will be able to deal with her? Asked Takeda in suspicion. Why don't you ask that from him? Siko said as she looked at Najima. Najima started to sweat as he saw Siko looking at her and hurriedly nodded his head, saying, Don't worry, she can easily deal with Kazara, you will not have to worry about her. Just as Najima finished his words, Kazara and her group came in front of them from the corner. Oh, are you guys here to stop me? Said Kazara as she looked at the group, but her eyes stopped at Siko. Who are you? I haven't seen you before, asked Kazara while looking at Siko. My name is Siko Busujima, and as I promised to Kenichi you won't be going any further, said Siko. Siko Busujima. Stopping me, Kazara said. She is the newest member of the Kendo Club and also their ace as well, Shiratori said from behind Kazara. Oh. So you want to stop me from fighting that dairy cow? Why is it that you didn't like it when I called her dairy cow instead of you? Kazara said while looking at Siko's breasts. No, not at all, but maybe if you saw my sister you will stop calling Mio a dairy cow, Siko replied with a smile of her own. HMNP. I don't believe it, but since you have come here I will like to check what are the qualities of the ace of Kendo Club, Kazara said as she went into her battle stance. If possible, I didn't wanted to fight you, but it looks like it won't be possible, Siko said as she held her kendo sword with both hands, putting it in front of her. Hell yeah, it isn't, Kazara said as she ran towards Siko and with her left leg kicked towards her stomach. Siko used her kendo sword to block the kick, then from there she went forward and swinged the sword at Kazara's stomach, hitting her, but as she didn't use much strength it didn't incapacitated her. Legs may have a longer reach and more power, but it still pales in comparison to a sword, said Siko. Miss Kazara, shouted Shiratori, but got interrupted by Takeda, against whom she was fighting. Holding her stomach, Kazara took 2 to 3 steps back. Bitch. I am gonna kill you, she said and jumped at her again. The fight against Kazara and Siko got intense from there as they attacked and defended simultaneously. Kazara gave a spin kick with her right leg towards her chest. Siko used the wooden sword to block the kick, but the force from the kick was so great that it forced her to take few steps back. Looks like I won't be able to go easy on you, said Siko. HMNP, like I need you to do that, Kazara replied, and they started to fight again. Kazara kicked towards Siko at her face, who dodged the kick by swinging his body backwards and used the tip of the kendo sword to hit her at the stomach, this time with more strength. Ugh! Kazara groaned as went on her knees holding her stomach. On the other hand, most of the fights were already concluded, with Yukita and Takeda taking on the main fighters and dealing with them. The members of Nishira Group won with the overwhelming advantage of numbers. We should stop here, as you can see most of the members of your team has lost the fight, Siko said to Kazara. Kazara looked at her group and saw most of them has lost except Shiratori, who was also unable to do anything against Takeda. Kazara said as she slowly stood up, we will be going for now, but it still hasn't ended until I beat both of you along that. Kenichi, stop the fight, we are going back. Chapter 56, Natsu vs Kenichi. We should stop here, as you can see most of the members of your team has lost the fight, Siko said to Kazara. Kazara looked at her group and saw most of them has lost except Shiratori, who was also unable to do anything against Takeda. Kazara said as she slowly stood up, "We will be going for now, but it still hasn't ended until I beat both of you along that Kenichi. Stop the fight, we are going back." Everyone stopped their fight as they saw that the main fight has been concluded. Shiratori hurriedly came by Kazara's side and helped her to stand. "If that's what you want, then I will welcome you any time, but you will have to train yourself for that. Why don't you try weight anklets? Kenichi told me that it increases your speed and strength in your legs," Siko said as she looked at her departing figure. Kazara heard her words, and though she didn't reply back but have already decided to buy weight anklets to use them. After Kazara and her group left, Siko also left Nijima and her group to go back and watch the play of Myo. Seeing her leave, Haruo finally breathed a sigh of relief and then said while laughing, "See, the Nishira group doesn't even need their main tanks to deal with Kazara's group." Takeda and Yukita shook their head and also left, leaving Nijima with his group to let him bask in glory. After Siko reached the auditorium, the play was almost finished, so she hurriedly went in the front and met with Kenichi's family along with members of Ryo Zanpaku. Siko specially took interest in knowing Shigeru, who was Kenichi's girlfriend but more importantly a grandmaster in all weaponry. Shigeru also liked talking to Siko as she showed interest in the knowledge of sword art, making them friends with each other quite easily. After the play ended, everybody gave a standing ovation for the actors in the play. Myo was smiling jubilantly while standing on the stage and thanking the audience along with the other members of the play. "You were superb, Myo," said Akasame. "Thank you very much everyone for coming, but what really brought my acting was Tanimoto's lead," Myo said. "Ha! You know all these people?" Myo asked Tanimoto as he came towards them. "Ah yes, they are my relatives and those are Kenichi's parents," said Myo, introducing Tanimoto to them. "Oh hello, nice to meet you all," Tanimoto said. "Nice to meet you too. I really liked your acting," said Saori. "Thank you," replied Tanimoto. "Yes. Your acting was good even though you do it only half-heartedly. There are still some times where you really like acting." "Shichibukai, I don't know why," Akasame said. "Ha!" exclaimed Tanimoto, but before he could give a reply to Akasame, few of his fangirls came to give him flowers. "Tanimoto, please accept this," one of the girls said as they presented the flowers to him. "Wow, thanks. Cosmos? My sister really liked these flowers," said Tanimoto as he accepted the flowers. "We should leave now," Akasame said as he bade farewell with Kenichi's family and they left towards their home. After receiving the flowers, Tanimoto didn't stay there for much time as he hurriedly went towards the hospital where his sister was admitted. "Hello, kid," Tanimoto said as he entered her room in the hospital. "Brother, you are here. Come tell me, how was your play?" asked Kid. "It was good. Here, take these flowers, I received them after my play. I have also brought a copy of the whole play so we can watch it sometime," Natsu said. "Why someday? Why not now?" asked Kid. "Because today is the medication day, so I won't be able to stay here with you, and since we will see it tomorrow if you want," said Natsu. "Okay," Kid said sadly. "Now, since you are going under medication in an hour, so I will let you take rest and we'll meet you tomorrow." "Okay," Natsu said. "Okay, bye-bye brother," Kid said. After coming out of the hospital, he changed his dress and wore the dress of Hermit, the sixth fist of Ragnarok. "Now let's go and deal with that Kenichi," said Natsu as he started walking in some direction after receiving a call. After everyone left on their own, Kenichi was walking with Myo and Siko as they talked while walking towards their homes. Siko told them how her encounter with Kazara went, and after hearing it, Kenichi sighed in relief, thinking that maybe after this she will train more instead of fighting everywhere around. "Thank you, Siko," Myo said. "It's okay, Myo, you are my friend, so it's natural that I will help you," Siko said with a smile. As they were talking to each other while walking on the foot-over bridge, they sensed something. "Watch out," the three of them shouted as they jumped backwards. Seeing the person attacking them, they were easily able to identify the preparator from his gloves, which were black in color and handwritten 6 on it in Roman numbers, 6. Seriously, shouldn't this guy be enjoying his sweet time with his sister? "Why is he here to destroy my sweet time?" thought Kenichi while looking at Natsu. Even though he didn't had much killing intent, but Kenichi still didn't like it, hence decided to beat the shit out of him, but realized something important: I still had not adapted with the increase in my restraints. "You are from Ragnarok?" asked Myo. "Hermit," replied Natsu. "Sixth fist of Ragnarok," Careful, he is a strong opponent, Siko warned the two, though she knew that they could take care of themselves. Kenichi signaled Mo and Siko to not move and let him deal with him. So you are here for me, right? Kenichi asked while coming in front of him. Natsu nodded his head after hearing Kenichi's question and said, you have become a thorn in Ragnarok, so the faster we deal with you the better it is. Bastard has really chosen the perfect day for that, thought Kenichi in his mind. Chapter 57, Natsu vs Kenichi 2. So you are here for me, right? Kenichi asked while coming in front of him. Natsu nodded his head after hearing Kenichi's question and said, you have become a thorn in Ragnarok, so the faster we deal with you the better it is. Bastard has really chosen the perfect day for that, thought Kenichi in his mind. Since we are going to fight, why don't you show me your face? Asked Kenichi. Natsu removes his hood and let them see his face. Ah! Tanimoto-san, Mo said in surprise. Siko was surprised as well, which could be seen from her face reaction, but she didn't had one as drastic as Myo. Only Kenichi didn't had any reaction, seeing which Natsu raised his eyebrows and asked, did you already knew about me? Yeah, more or less, as when we shook hands for the first time I knew those hands weren't of someone who only does acting in the play, then those delinquents who were badly beaten after creating a ruckus wasn't done by me, so I knew someone from the drama club must be behind it, and finally you used the half-turning three-step unconsciously while acting in the play, which is part of a Chinese martial arts steps, Kenichi explained. Oh, I see, looks like you have great observation skills as well, Natsu said as he went into his battle stance. Seeing that Natsu won't stop until he gets to fight Kenichi, he also got into his battle stance to fight against him. Unable to wait anymore, Natsu attacks Kenichi with his right palm towards his face, which Kenichi blocked using both his hands by making a X. Kenichi knew that his speed was not fast enough to dodge all his attacks, so he has already bared his teeth to take a few hits as well. Natsu with his left hand attacks on Kenichi's stomach, but Kenichi uses double palm, pushes away the attacks of Hemet, and when he gets closer, pushes the enemy with both hands. He stands with his right foot in front. As he makes a circular movement with both hands, he steps with his left foot. While stepping, he brings his hands to his right, and then pushes both hands forward and hits the ground with his left foot at the same time. Natsu takes the hit on his stomach and started coughing as he backed down to create some distance between them, but Kenichi didn't let him have a moment of rest and gives a low kick with his right leg at his left knee. Natsu goes on one of his knee due to Kenichi's kick and sees Kenichi's knee coming towards his face. He uses both his hands and blocks the attack. After his last attack is blocked, Kenichi takes 2 steps back and starts breathing heavily as the 10 kilograms of extra deadweight was making his movements sluggish, otherwise Natsu wouldn't have been able to block the last attack. Tell me, is your master Sujetsu-ma? Asked Natsu while holding his stomach. No. But one of my master is Kensei-ma, maybe he has some relations with this Sujetsu-ma of yours, but I don't know, Kenichi said as he took his defense position, once again ready to defend and attack Natsu the moment he comes. He is stronger than I had predicted, thought Natsu as he started to think his next moves. Not far from their position, the members of Ryozanpaku were looking at their fight. Kenichi's movements are sluggish, is there any reason for it? Asked Kensei-ma. Well, just yesterday only I increased his restraints weight, so it's normal that his movements will be sluggish, said Akasame. What then, won't he lose against such an opponent? Asked Sakaki. Well, we will have to wait and see how it goes, replied Akasame. On the bridge, Natsu and Kenichi's fight had become more dangerous as Natsu has started using more dangerous technique. Natsu went forward and attacked Kenichi with backslash, which is a front attack to the opponent's face with an open palm strike, forcing them back. Kenichi protected his face with both hands but got hit by Natsu, who used an axe kick, a front kick to the leg of an opponent, to catch them off balance and sit up for the next technique, making him fall down. As Kenichi fell on the ground, Natsu used Yuri Abanda, Black Dragon Smash and open palm slap, striking towards the ground in a flat stance with heavy momentum, to attack him. Kenichi rolled over the ground to dodge the attack. Bang! A noise was heard and there were some broken slabs of the bridge under his hand. Hey, that's Ikaken. It looks a lot like Kung Fu, said Kensei. Ikaken. Isn't that a dangerous martial art? Asked Sakaki. Among Chinese martial arts, it is among the ones which is used more for actual combat. Using both arms like a whip, felling on the opponent without giving him the chance to counterattack, surely it is the fist of strength, said Kensei-ma. Is it really the time to praise the guy who was after our disciple's life, said Sakaki. Don't get agitated, Sakaki, said Akasame. You shut up. Restraining Kenichi's strength in order to help his to control is understandable, but what I don't understand is why didn't you give him a key to get out of the restraints when he has to fight, asked Sakaki. Because till now there wasn't anyone who could defeat him even with those restraints on him, but looks like I will have to pass on a key to him as his opponent's strength is also increasing along with him, replied Akasame. Oh, you better, Sakaki said as he became more restless. On the bridge after seeing the last attack of Natsu, Kenichi looks at his in shock. That move just now, if it got connected I could have been badly hurt. I thought you only wanted to teach me a lesson, but it sure doesn't look like it, said Kenichi with anger in his eyes. Natsu didn't reply anything but once again attacked Kenichi. This time his palm went for his left thigh, but before the palm of Natsu could reach Kenichi's thigh he moved forward and used his right knee, hitting him straight at his stomach. Cough cough. Natsu coughed from the attack and lowered his head while trying to step back, but Kenichi was finished. He used his right elbow and hit him on his head. Aha! Shouted Natsu in pain as he fell on the ground after taking Kenichi's elbow. Oh! He sure picked Apachai's move easily, said Kensei after he saw Kenichi's attack. Yeah. It looks like we won't have to worry about Kenichi for now, said Akasame. Apachai is a great teacher, said Apachai. Ha ha ha, that's my disciple, said Sakaki while laughing. Kenichi moved back as he said, get up, I know you won't go down so easily. Chapter 58, Natsu vs Kenichi Final. Natsu didn't reply anything but once again attacked Kenichi. This time his palm went for his left thigh, but before the palm of Natsu could reach Kenichi's thigh he moved forward and used his right knee, hitting him straight at his stomach. Cough cough. Natsu coughed from the attack and lowered his head while trying to step back, but Kenichi was finished. He used his right elbow and hit him on his head. Aha! Shouted Natsu in pain as he fell on the ground after taking Kenichi's elbow. Oh! He sure picked Apachai's move easily, said Kensei after he saw Kenichi's attack. Yeah. It looks like we won't have to worry about Kenichi for now, said Akasame. Apachai is a great teacher, said Apachai. Ha ha ha, that's my disciple, said Sakaki while laughing. Kenichi moved back as he said, get up, I know you won't go down so easily. Natsu stood up slowly and Kenichi gave him the time to get his bearings back. Since you were using such dangerous moves, I should also not go easy on you, right? Kenichi said as he released some of his internal energy from his body, covering it. The pressure created from it was easily felt by Natsu, since it was directed towards Natsu. Myo and Siko, who were watching from the sidelines, didn't get affected by it, but as martial artists from an old household they were able to feel the energy Kenichi was releasing and identify it. So much internal energy, Sakaki said. And it looks like Kenichi can easily control it, Akasame said. If up till now there was any doubts that Kenichi may lose, all of them have been cleared, said Kensei. Shigeru and Apachai nodded their heads after hearing what Kensei-ma said. Let's get this over with, said Kenichi as he ran towards Natsu, who was standing 10 steps away from him. Until now Kenichi has only been defending himself, but this time he went forward to attack. Seeing him run towards himself, Natsu once again attacked Kenichi's face, but he went into his battle stance before that happened, making the pointed spear hand position of Hakuju, and as Natsu's palm reached his face he turned around, then pushed the palm to the left and used the right hand to attack his neck. After this he went into the continuous series of attack, first neck strike, crotch hit. Then he turned around to the back and with the edge of the hand hit his back of the neck, then elbow to the side. And finished it off by kicking the back of the knee to topple Natsu. This series of attack was done within 10 seconds, not leaving any chance for Natsu to fight back. After this series of attack Kenichi walked back again to let Tanimoto stand, as he knew until this guy is conscious he won't stop fighting, so he was already ready to beat him till he is unconscious, then call Matsur Akasame to do the treatment for him. After some time Natsu stood up, making his fighting stance to fight once again, but Kenichi could easily see that if he falls this time then he won't be able to stand up once again, so he also got ready for the final round. Natsu moved forward and so did Kenichi. One attacked with his palm and the other with punch, hitting each other. Kenichi could have easily avoided his palms, but he wanted to trade blows and see until when can Natsu stand up his punches. Natsu's palm hit on his chest while his punch went for the gut. This exchange of attacks went on for 2 minutes or so. By that time they had exchanged 50 punches or more, after which Natsu was fumbling and looked like he was going to fall any time. Seeing this, Kenichi knew that he had to end it now, so just as Natsu attached him once more, Kenichi caught his hand with his left hand and lifted Natsu onto the hip and slammed him to the ground, making him unconscious. Huff huff. He is really a tough guy, said Kenichi while taking deep breaths. Is he okay, Kenichi? Asked Myo as she came towards Kenichi. Yeah, he should be fine, just a little unconscious, that's all, replied Kenichi. But he is really good that he made you to face him seriously, Siko said. Yeah, maybe, Kenichi said as he took out his cell phone and called a number. Hello, this is I have your child here, said Apachai as he picked his cell phone given by Kenichi. Yes, Apachai-san, is Master Akasane there? Kenichi asked. Yes, he is right here with me, Apachai replied. Okay, then could you tell him that there will be a patient coming for him right now as he was injured during my fight with him, Kenichi said. Don't worry, we saw your fight, so I will tell him right now, said Apachai to Kenichi on the phone, then looked at Akasane and said, Kenichi wants to treat you, the guy he just on the bridge. No problem, just bring him to my clinic, replied Akasane. Wait, you people are here, Kenichi said as he looked around and saw a group with 2 giants and easily recognized them as the members of Ryozanpaku. Perfect, Apachai-san, can you come here and pick up this guy to drop him on Master Akasane's clinic? I will treat you to a hamburger, Kenichi said. Hamburger. Yes, I am coming, Apachai said and made a giant leap, directly landing on the bridge. Just take him to Master Akasane's clinic and I will bring your hamburger with me, Kenichi said. Okay, I will take him then, said Apachai and picked up Natsu in one hand and jumped down from the bridge, running in the direction of Akasane's clinic. After Apachai went away, Kenichi looked at Siko and Myo and said, let's go, we also have to do a small party of the 3 since Myo's play was a success. Yes, a small party of appreciation for Myo should be done, Siko said with a smile. Hearing this, Myo became a little emotional and said, thank you very much. Chapter 59, Shocking Ryozanpaku. After Apachai was gone, Kenichi looked at Siko and Myo and said, let's go, we also have to do a small party of the 3 since Myo's play was a success. Yes, a small party of appreciation for Myo should be done, Siko said with a smile. Hearing this, Myo became a little emotional and said, thank you very much. After the small fight, Kenichi went to a cafe with Myo and Siko to celebrate Myo's first play being successful. They bought a cake and snacks to celebrate it. No. Being Myo became emotional once again and almost treated, but stopped when Kenichi said, don't worry, Myo. You don't look good when you cry. Seriously, people will stop eating their food if they saw you cry. Siko would smile whenever she saw Kenichi coaxing Myo like she is a child. After finishing the celebration, Kenichi bought food for everyone in Ryozanpaku as they went towards their homes. As Kenichi and Myo, after separating from Siko, were going towards the dojo, Natsu had already woken up in Akasane's clinic. Where am I? Asked Natsu. You are in my clinic, said Akasane, who was sitting on a stool beside Kensei-ma. Your clinic? Natsu said. Correct, our disciple Kenichi. After taking you down, asked us to check on you and see whether you were injured badly or not, said Akasane. Oh. Okay, Natsu said as he stood up from the bed and started wearing his clothes. Your martial arts is more like Chinese Kung Fu. If you don't mind me asking, can you tell me who is your master? Asked Kensei-ma. You must be Kensei-ma, his teacher in Chinese martial arts, right? He told me that you may have some relation with my teacher Ma Sujetsu. Natsu said. Kensei's eyes were wide open when he heard the name from Natsu, but that was only for a split second as he regained his bearings, which wasn't noticed by Natsu, but Akasane did notice it. Yeah, I know him. So he is your master? Asked Kensei. Yeah, but he didn't taught me everything and vanished suddenly without any notice. Do you know where I can find him? Asked Natsu. No, I don't, but I will tell him about you if I get to meet him, replied Kensei-ma. Okay, then I will be going now, said Natsu as he started walking out of the clinic. Before you go, I will like to tell you something, Akasane said. What is it? Asked Natsu. Don't go down the path where you won't be able to face your loved ones, Akasane said. Natsu heard his words but didn't reply and walked out of the clinic in silence, but his mind was continuously thinking about his sister Keed. Just after Natsu left, Kenichi and Myo came back. "I have brought food for everyone for dinner," shouted Kenichi as he entered the hall, and just as he finished his sentence a gust of wind came and Apachai was standing in front of them. "Hamburger." "Apachai wants hamburger," said Apachai. Yes, Apachai-san, I have brought your hamburger for you," Kenichi said as he passed one of the bags he was holding to Apachai, which was filled with hamburgers. "Yes, Apachai loves hamburger," said Apachai as he sat there and started eating his hamburger. Oi, what have you brought for me?" asked Sakaki as he entered the hall. "We have brought a lot of food, Sakaki-san, you can choose from anyone," said Myo as he kept the bags on the floor and went into the kitchen to bring plates for everyone. The next one to come was Shigeru, who entered the hall from the ceiling and was going back when Kenichi said, "Shigeru, we are celebrating Myo's success in her play, so why don't you and Takamara sit with us for today?" Shigeru looked at Takamara, who was standing on her shoulders nodding his head, so she also nodded her head and sat beside Myo. Myo smiled when she saw Shigeru was also sitting with them while eating and said thank you Shigeru, then looked at Kenichi and said thank you to him as well. Kenichi just smiled at her and didn't said anything as he knew that she was really happy right now. The last one to come were Akasame and Kensei, who came from the clinic at closing it down. "Oh. So we are having food from outside?" asked Akasame. "Yes, I thought it would be nice as we can celebrate Myo's success on her first play," replied Kenichi. "That's a nice gesture, Kenichi," said Akasame. "Thank you, Akasame-sensei. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, how is that Natsu Tanimoto?" Kenichi asked. "He is fine. Just minor injuries, no bone was broken except some swellings on his head, as your elbow wasn't weak," Akasame said. "Okay, then that's good, I don't want him to become an idiot because of me," said Kenichi. "Then you don't have to worry about it, it won't happen," replied Akasame. Kenichi smiled, then looked at Kensei-ma, who hasn't spoken anything yet. "Yo, Master Kensei, what happened?" asked Kenichi. "Oh. Nothing, Kenichi," replied Kensei. Okay then," Kenichi said and didn't force him to anything as he knew it still wasn't the time yet. "So Kenichi, how was your experience fighting someone with good skills?" asked Akasame. "Well, he was good, and if I hadn't used my internal energy, winning against him would have been really hard," replied Kenichi. "Internal energy," exclaimed Sakaki, Kensei, and Akasame together as they looked towards Kenichi. "So it wasn't a fluke, but you knew how to use it?" asked Sakaki. "Well yeah, I have always been able to use it since I was a kid, hence I was always stronger than my peers. That was also the reason I wanted to become a martial artist, as I thought I would be able to become a good one," replied Kenichi. There was complete silence in the dojo. All the members of Ryo Zanpaku were looking at each other with shock in their eyes, unable to say anything. Even the old man Furinagi that came just now and listened to their conversation was standing out of the door of the hall, was so shocked that he stood out of the door in contemplation. Chapter 60, Mountain Training. "Well, he was good, and if I hadn't used my internal energy, winning against him would have been really hard," replied Kenichi. "Internal energy," exclaimed Sakaki, Kensei, and Akasame together as they looked towards Kenichi. "So it wasn't a fluke, but you knew how to use it?" asked Sakaki. "Well yeah, I have always been able to use it since I was a kid, hence I was always stronger than my peers. That was also the reason I wanted to become a martial artist, as I thought I would be able to become a good one," replied Kenichi. There was complete silence in the dojo. All the members of Ryo Zanpaku were looking at each other with shock in their eyes, unable to say anything. Even the old man Furinagi that came just now and listened to their conversation was stunned and could only stand out of the door in contemplation. "It looks like we will have changed your training speed," Akasame said. "Training is good, the more you train the stronger will you become." I was just on a little trip." "It seems like I go on a lot of them," shouted Hayato Furinagi as he entered the room. "Oh, grandfather. Welcome back," said Myo. "Oh, eldest, you have returned," said Akasame. "Did you brought souvenirs?" asked Apachai. "Why did you came back from your trip just now?" asked Sakaki. "How was the south?" asked Myo. Ha, it was extremely difficult," replied Furinagi, then sat down as Myo served him tea. "So basically Kenichi can use internal energy from early age and use that to defeat a person who doesn't know anything about it. What is there to be proud about it?" said Hayato Furinagi. Oi, I was in restraints and wasn't even able to use 50% of my strength, so all I did was use my internal energy to help me with that," Kenichi replied. Yeah, about that I will give you a key for your restraints whenever you go out of the dojo so that if you are attached like that from someone you don't use your internal energy like that, said Akasame. Oh, that's great, said Kenichi. But before that we will be going out for training since your summer holidays are starting, right? Said Akasame. Yeah, they will start from the next week, replied Kenichi. Okay, then you can pack your belongings as we will move on the day your summer holidays start, Akasame replied. Alright, replied Kenichi. Next week. Kenichi and Myo's summer vacation had started, hence they followed Akasame for Kenichi's training along with Apachai, who tagged with them. As they were climbing a cliff, Kenichi asked, so Akasame-sensei, what is there that you can't teach me in the dojo that you have to bring me out in the mountain and climb a cliff for that? Learning out in the environment is really helpful and there is someone else who lives here who can help you with the training, replied Akasame. It didn't take them much time to climb the cliff as all of them took it as walking more than climbing, hence they were able to climb it in few hours. Well, who is this man you were talking about, Akasame-sensei, asked Kenichi while they were walking on the mountain road. This person carries the nearly lost out of old school jiu-jitsu, Akasame said. Old school jiu-jitsu? Kenichi exclaimed. When it was originally developed in ancient Japan, it was an unarmed grappling style. However, for hand-to-hand combat there are man techniques that use small weapons like short swords. It was developed in the Warring States era, but had disappeared soon with that time. Akasame explained. Is that your sure as well, Akasame-sensei, asked Kenichi. No, my style is taken every meeting Zell kind of jiu-jitsu and boiled then down, and you would have to call it Koetsuji school, Akasame said. Watch our suited Kenichi and Myo at the same time when they saw a small knife coming towards them. The knife went for Akasame, who caught it between his fingers. Throwing knives! Exclaimed Myo when Kenichi came in fringe of her. Akasame looked in the direction from where the knife came from and saw a man jumping from the tree towards him and kicked towards him, who he blocked with his hands. The man was pushed back from Akasame, where Apachai gave continuous punches in his direction, but the said man fucked forward, rolling on the ground, dodging from the attack, and reached Akasame once again. When the two thought that Akasame and the man was going to punch one another, instead of that they shook hands. Long time no see, said Akasame. Welcome, said the man. The question marks were over the heads of Myo and Apachai as they weren't able to understand this development, whereas Kenichi was just shaking his head. What type of greeting is this? Asked Kenichi. We always greet each other like that, replied Akasame. Oh. Is that kid the Kenichi that I have been hearing about? The one called Ryo Zanpaku's disciple. My son is eagerly waiting for your arrival, says the man as he shook hands with Kenichi. Your son, huh? Kenichi said as he shook hands with the man and used his strength to counter the man when he tried to crush his hand. Oh, the man exclaimed and let go of Kenichi's hand. This is the man who preserves the knowledge of Yamamoto School Jiu-Jitsu, Yamamoto Taki-san, and though his son may not be a match with Kenichi in his overall strength, but his techniques have been gone since childhood, which may be of some help to Kenichi, said Akasame. Well, we will have to see if that's possible. Our house is just over there, let's go before the sun sets, said Yamamoto Taki. Sorry for inconvenience, said Akasame as he along with the others followed him. After walking for some time they could see a house made of wood. Yamamoto, who was walking in the front, shouted, Naoki, I am back. But what is the reason for Kenichi to assist against this kid? You know Kenichi have his internal energy, so shouldn't you be teaching him about that, asked Myo. Ancient Jiu-Jitsu is one of the martial arts where internal energies control is tested the most, Akasame said. So Kenichi is here to learn better control of his internal energy, Myo asked. Yeah, that's right, Akasame said. When Kenichi heard their words he thought, no, that's not right. It wasn't supposed to happen, was it? That wraps up this part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.